Hello guys, welcome to Centum, and for today's episode I will be sharing with you my rubber tree collection and the rest of my ficus collection. The first plant on my list is this rubber tree that is called Black Prince, also known as Burgundy. We had this plant for a very long time already, and even before the trend started. And that's why this tree is so big, as you can see here. It is very tall. Actually, this rubber tree is a fast grower. I already trimmed it, and after a few months, it is very tall already. And this plant is very easy to take care of and propagate. I actually propagated some of them. Before, I tried to propagate this plant with just a leaf, but it only produced roots and it did not produce any more leaves. So I took a node. I was successful in propagating it, but it created a very small leaf. As you could see here, it did produce a leaf, but it started a very small offspring here. So it's like creating a new plant. So to propagate this tree, I just use a net and wrap around some moss around it. And you could use any kind of soil, just wrap around the soil around the aerial roots using plastic or net. So when the roots grow, you just have to cut it and just plant it on the soil. I'll be showing you my first propagation. Now this rubber tree is my first successful propagation through air layering or marketing. As you can see here, it has a new leaf already. This is a mid-cut actually. I cut it here because I find the branch too tall, but I would suggest to create a top cut, so the next leaf would be big already. You don't have to start with a small one like this one. As you could see here, this is quite small compared to this one because this is a mid cut. Now this rubber tree is a top cut. As you could see here, it is quite tall already. And the newest leaf is already big. As you could see here, this one, the newest leaf is big. It is big as this one because this is a top cut. It just continued from this bud here. It doesn't have to create another branch. So I would suggest to propagate the rubber tree by top cut. The next rubber tree that I got is this lemon lime. I was told this is called lemon lime. Since our Black Prince is so easy to take care of and propagate, and I heard that it was very in demand and it has a good price if you want to sell it, I decided to collect several rubber trees, and this was my second rubber tree. And this plant is not as fast growing as the Black Prince, but it has a very nice color. As you could see here, it has a green and yellow combination. It is very beautiful, and the variegation is stable as long as you put it in a bright place. Probably my shade is making this tree quite small. It is not as fast as I want it to be, but it is very beautiful still. And I guess the propagation of this one is the same as the Black Prince. My third rubber tree is this Ficus Larata, which is very different from Black Prince because of its shape. It looks like a fish cracker, and it is quite crunchy. It is not as thick as the rubber tree black prince, but it is quite thinner actually, but the leaves is very durable also, as you could see here. It is very beautiful. This plant is quite popular as an indoor plant. I see this in a lot of magazines and interior decor magazines. You could see this plant. It is very popular in Western countries, and I think the way you propagate it is through air layering also, or marketing, and I guess it is very easy. This plant is very fast growing compared to the lemon lime. When it started, it has a small leaf here, but now this is big, as you could see here. It's even bigger compared to my hand. I would suggest everyone to get this plant because it is very easy and it is a fast grower and such a quite the beauty of a plant. The next rubber tree we have here is the ruby. The ruby is similar to Tenchi, but it has a reddish tint here. As you can see here, it's quite pinkish. The stem is quite pinkish, and the variegation is predominantly green as of now. I don't know if it'll turn whiter, but this plant is quite slow growing compared to the other plants. Maybe because I got it very young, but maybe if it develops more roots, it would be faster as well. I'm crossing my fingers that it would be that way. And the last rubber tree that I got is this Tenchi. Actually, this is one of my favorite because it's very beautiful because of its white and green combination. But I got this very small, and I'm hoping that it would grow more faster. And I guess it's quite fair to expect this big, as I got it very small, but I'm really hoping that it would grow as beautiful as the Black Prince. Now for my other ficus collection, this is our Ficus Nana, also known as money tree. It is quite similar to the rubber tree. It's just it has a very small leaf, and as you could see in the roots, it's very similar to the rubber tree. It has a lot of thick and very active aerial roots, as you could see here. They say that this plant is lucky, and it is used very often as a bonsai material because you could manipulate its branches very easily, and you could propagate this very fast. You just have to simply cut it and include an area roots, then just place it on the soil. But if you want to be sure, you could do air layering in marketing similar to the rubber tree, then you're good to go. Another ficus plant that I got, maybe I got this around October or November last year, is this variegated ficus. I'm not pretty sure about the exact name, but it was called variegated ficus. I guess this is a fig tree, ordinary fig tree that is variegated, and this plant has a very beautiful color, but during summer it got burned. I guess you just have to place this plant in a bright indirect light and don't place it on a place that is very hot, and because the leaves will burn, as you could see here. But now it's raining, so I guess it's fine if I place it there. So you could see it has a very nice contrast. The leaves are so beautiful. This is one of my favorite. I tried to propagate this by division, and the way you propagate this is if you have a mature plant, you just have to repot it and split this plant into two from its roots. Then you'll have more plants of this kind. The next ficus plant that I have is this Ficus benjamina. And we have this plant for a very long time, and we trained it as a bonsai, as you could see here. It has a lot of aerial roots also. This plant is very good for landscaping because it can tolerate hot weather. But as you can see here, because lately it's been very hot, that's why the leaves are burned here. But normally it can tolerate direct light. It's just that the weather lately has been extreme, but this is good for landscaping as well. As you could see here, I have several Ficus benjamina bonsais here, which is a great material and quite popular among bonsai lovers. And I am using a cut and grow method. Now the next ficus that I have here is the ficus named balete. I'm not pretty sure what's balete in English, but our local name for this plant is balete. The leaves are quite dirty as of the moment. It's because of the pesticide that I placed here a few days ago. And this, before I forgot, a lot of ficus plants and ficus trees are quite pest prone. A lot of pests are very attracted to its leaves, and you could see that they would curl, their leaves would turn yellow like this one. The aphids also loves to stay here. As you could see here, there's still some aphids there. So you have to regularly spray some pesticide on them so the plant would stay healthy and beautiful, because if you don't, they will turn ugly. The next ficus plant that I have here is this plant called lemon. When I bought this, a lot of the leaves are yellow, but right now there's a moderate color of yellow. Maybe it's because of the lighting, maybe it needs a more bright light, but anyways, the plant is still beautiful. And the way I propagate it is too similar to Ficus Nana. You just have to cut it and just stick it on the soil, or you have to develop the aerial roots first. And this plant is very good for landscaping as well, like most ficus plants or trees. They provide a lot of volume, and the color of this one is very beautiful. It changes from dark green to yellow. The next ficus plant that I have here is the Ficus retusa, I believe. It is very similar to Ficus benjamina, but the leaves here, as you could see here, doesn't have a lot of visible veins, unlike this benjamina. As you could see here, the veins are quite prominent. There's a very distinct contrast in the middle here and the side of the leaf. Unlike this one, it doesn't have that kind of distinction. And this plant is a very popular as a bonsai material as well, and it is very easy to propagate. You just have to do it by air layering, or just cut it from its aerial roots and stick it in the soil. The next plant that we have here is this Ficus railiosa, and actually this is a tree already, and it was believed that Siddhartha or Buddha was enlightened by this tree, and this tree can last for a very long time, and it's could last for 100 years actually. and the leaves of this plant is quite big, and it produces a red flower, I believe, but in our case it doesn't produce that flower yet. Maybe we don't have the right condition, that's why there's no flower. But this is quite a fast grower, I must say, and sometimes you'd see them sprout in the side of your house. They'll just sprout all of a sudden. So that's it, guys. Those were my rubber trees and ficus collection, and I hope you enjoy watching it and learn something. And if you like this channel, please like and subscribe, and see you at the next episode. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.